No one else cares.
Okay.
Wait, who we facing?
No.
Harold's.
Yeah, you probably find them out.
Harold's. They look like Gilmore.
Listen, we don't.
Harold's? No, it's not Gilmore.
Strongsville.
Lindsay.
the second game. Score is 5-5. And St. John's versus Cornerstone Christian Academy. Gina sets it over to Hannah. Hannah spikes it. Gets over. St. John returns it. Lindsay digs it up to Hannah, who sets it for Gabby and kills it. CCA's point 8-6. The scoreboard will be up shortly.
St. John's with the serve. And Gina's not able to get to that one. So the point will go to St. John's with the score now being 9-8 Cornerstone. Lindsay Shoby now back to serve for Cornerstone. The score is now 10-8. St. John's libero tries to handle that one with her hands, but unfortunately it sails backwards, and the point is given to Cornerstone with an ace for Lindsay Shoby. Bales with a nice reception. Gina setting up for Raven. Johns with the serve. Shoby's pass goes into the net. Hannah pushes into the deep right corner. St. John scrambling, gives it a free. Lindsay receives. Gina sets it up to Hannah on the outside. St. John's handles that one well. And Naomi is not able to dig that outside hit from St. John's, and the score is now 11-11. St. John's with the serve. Naomi handles that one well. Gina setting up to Hannah. Hannah will tip it over. St. John scrambling. Another free will go back over the net to Cornerstone. Hannah pushes for a tip, but is unsuccessful for the kill. And number 15, St. John, will put down a kill from the outside. St. John's with the serve. And Lindsay sends an overpass. St. John's pushes to the outside. Lindsay handles that one well. Gina will set it up to Hannah at the outside. Again, their outside hitter hits. Lindsay receives. And Cornerstone is not able to get it back over the net within 3 hits. So that point will go to St. John's. The score now 11-14. That serve will go down as an 8 for St. John's, and Cornerstone will take a timeout. Back from the timeout, and St. John's is serving. Gina will send a free over to St. John's. Lindsay takes that. Gina set to Hannah, and Hannah puts it down from the outside. The score is now 12-16.
John back to the serve. It's over. Gina sets it to Caitlin Bales, who cannot hear. Gina sets it to Akasiewicz, who gets it over for a kill.
And Cornerstone gets an ace. The score is now 14-18 with St. John's still leading. And Hannah gets another ace for Cornerstone. The score is now 15-18. Third ace in a row for Hannah Belich as that one comes off of one of St. John's arms into the net by the ref. Hannah will go back for her fourth serve. Lindsay takes that easily. Gina pushes to deep corner, but St. John handles that well. Their outside will roll it over. Sets up to Lindsay. Setter scrambling, and St. John's is forced to give a free. Gina setting back up again to Caitlin. Caitlin hits it over. St. John's will now have their libero hit. And as Lindsay tries to receive that, she's unsuccessful. So the point goes to St. John's, and the score is now 16-19. Point goes to St. John's. St. John's back to serve. Alyssa Morton handles that one well. Gina's setting up. And Raven tries to tip for the second time in a row, but the second tip falls just out of bounds. Point St. John's as they now go back to serve. Nice pass from Hannah. Gina's set is a little bit tight, which forces the point to go to St. John's. The score is now 16-22. That serve flies just out of bounds, so the point is now to Cornerstone, with the score being 17-22.
St. John gets a strike, an over pass back to Sewich, and it's out of bounds.
St. John's is serving. Lindsay passes up to Gina, who sets it up to Alyssa. Alyssa hits it over. St. John's setting up their back row. Hannah handles that one well. And Caitlin's hit is outside of the antenna, so that point will go to St. John's. Now, game point for St. John's, with the score being 17-24, and St. John's leading with the win in the first set. That would be a foot fault. Caitlin Bales now back to serve. That serve is out of bounds, so that wraps up set 2, which also goes to St. John's, with the score for now being 0-2. And we're back with set 3 with St. John's, with Cornerstone to serve, sorry. And that tip will not go back over. So that is St. John's point, with the score now being nice pass from Hannah Belich. That would be an unforced error by Caitlin Bales. So the point is again St. John's, with the score now 0-2. Hannah Belich with a nice pass as Gina goes to set. St. John's takes that one well. Their outside hitter will roll it over. Gina dives the ball but is unsuccessful. The point goes to St. John's, with the score now being 1-3. Nice effort from Cornerstone, but they are blocked straight down by St. John's. So again, the point is to St. John's. St. John's with a serve. Hannah receives that one. And that looks like that hit will never be over the net. So that point is St. John's. Serve from St. John's. Alyssa has a nice pass to Gina. Gina will back set to Gabby. St. John's will have their libero swing. Lindsay picks that one up. Gina again setting to the outside. Nice pickup from St. John's libero. Gina takes the first ball, so Lindsay will use her hands. And Alyssa Morton's hit sails just out of bounds. So the point is St. John's, with the score now 1-6. For St. John's. Gina will set to Gabby on the right side, and Gabby Qualls will get a kill for Cornerstone's second point of the game. Ace for Cornerstone. Score is now 3-7. Long rally there between the two teams, and Cornerstone will take the point with a kill. Score is now 4-7. Cornerstone with the serve. Their libero reaches for that one. We'll set it up, and it's a free ball over to Cornerstone. Gina will set the middle, who will dump it for a kill. Score is now 5-7, with St. John's still in the lead. St. John's will now take a timeout. They have a minute, and then we will return.
Gavin calls with the serve, and St. John fails to get it back over.
St. John's will send that one into the net, giving Cornerstone the point, and the score is now 7-7. We are at a tie game with Qualls serving. Nice bump set from St. John's. Their libero will swing. Gina runs over to set it to Alyssa Morton, who will swing. St. John handles that well. They will tip, and Cornerstone is not ready, and that ball hits the floor. So now the score is 7-8 St. John's.
CCA sends it over. Serve, Lindsay takes it. Gina sets it over the corner.
Gina will send a free over to St. John's as they swing and get the kill, as Lindsay Shopey is unable to receive that one. Point to St. John's, and the score is now 7-11.
Inside
St. will now serve. Hannah with a nice pass to Gina. Sets it up to Raven, who smacks it down for a kill. Score is now 8-12.
communication back there. And that ball to drop down.
CCA with the serve. And that serve will fall short. Point goes to St. John's. And St. John's will sub in number 22 for number 7. Good pass from Lindsay Shoby. A little bit tight, so Gina pushes over to the net. St. John's setting up their outside hitter. Lindsay's able to get that one up, but no one is able to get there in time. So the point is St. John's, and the score is now 8-14. St. John's will serve. That will be a net violation on St. John's and the point of CCA's with the score now 8-15. Stone will sub in number 15 for number 7. Naomi now back to serve. Naomi's serve falls short, so the point is St. John's with the score now 9-16. St. John's not able to get that one over the net, so the point is Cornerstones with Lindsay Shoby, the libero, back to serve. St. John's will get a kill for their 17th point as Cornerstone is still at 10.
John with the ace, bring their score up to 18. CCA has to win this game, set, or else the game will be over. John gets it over. Wait.
CCA now serving. Nice pass. Lindsay digs that one up. Gina will push it to the outside to Hannah Belich. And that ball will go in the net. 19 with St. John's winning. St. John's to serve. St. John's will get an ace on Hannah Belich. The score now being 11-20. Walls will put that one down for a point. CCA is now trailing 12-20. Hannah Belich is now back to serve as Cornerstone makes a sub, Alyssa Morton for Naomi. Hannah with the float serve. Setter sets it, and St. John's outside will get a kill, now increasing their advantage. Gina will set it back to Gabriella Qualls, who gets it, or is 13-21 with St. John's still leading. Nice swing by Mills as Cornerstone the point. The score is now 14-21 with Qualls back to serve. St. John's setter will bump set that to the libero, who swings. CCA putting in some good effort. Alyssa Morton will push that over with her hands. Great set from St. John's. And Gina's unable to receive that. Score is now 14-22 in the third set. St. John's will make a substitution for 21 for number 14.
John back. Gina sets it over to Alyssa Morton, who hands it over the net. Over to Hannah, who sets it to Lindsay, who digs it over the net. And one too many touches on St. John's side. Point for CCA. Score is now 22-15. CCA needs to win this.
That'll be an ace for Cornerstone, as the score is now 16-22. Bales back to serve. That serve will just make it over the net. St. John's is forced to send a free over. Lindsay handles that one. Alyssa Morton will swing, and it is just long. St. John's is now 2 points away from winning its third set in the game against Cornerstone Christian Academy.
St. John's back for serve. Hannah digs it out of bounds. Gina saves it, and it hits the ceiling and falls out of bounds. Point St. John's. Stay tuned after this game. We may have a post-game interview with one of the CCA players.
St. John's to serve on game point. Lindsay will swing, and it goes into the net. Cornerstone loses this set and the entire game against St. John's.
So that wraps up our broadcast today. CCA versus St. John. Stay tuned after a couple minutes. We're going to try and get one of the girls up here and interview them. Talk about some maybe things looking forward to their season, etc. Girls have denied the interview. So that'll mark the end of our broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll I'll see you next time. Don't miss out with the volleyball dimension.
I was gonna be a real jerk. So again, always. So the setter had a hair tie on the whole match. I don't, whatever. So because Hobart gave us a yellow card on Saturday for it. Are you Pocahontas? What? Yes. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we were gonna come out of the timeout and be like, we just like captain over for this, and be like, yeah, just end it.
Okay, I'm here with the captains of the girls varsity volleyball team. So what did you guys think you need to improve for this season?
So I think we started out really well. I think we did a good job of staying in the fight. Towards the end, we kind of lost our voice, which kind of put us out of the game. Keeping our voice is really going to be the number one thing that keeps us in the game.
All right, and moving forward with the season, how do you guys think you're going to do? Do you think you have room to improve? Your underclassmen, do you think they're still learning the game as a new team?
Yes, slowly. I think that the younger classmen, they have a lot to learn as well as we do too. But I think that we're all gonna work harder on communicating and just keep drilling, and that we'll finish up the season strong.
All right, and one last, this is an easy question. When's your next game?
Saturday, 1:30, against we don't know.
It's a
At
mystery.
CCA.
It's gonna be.
Bring it. We need all the support we can get.
And that's the end of our broadcast.